I'm not late. I had too many browsers open. That's what happens when I start looking up Anunnaki stuff. So let me pull the chats up. I got some music. The song is actually called Babylon. Let me share my desktop here. Yeah, it's a cool song. We're going to talk about Marduk tonight. And yeah. So let me pull the chats up. And hello, D-Live. Hold on, I gotta mute this before I get echoes here. And if anyone's over at Twitch, no. And we're on, yeah, we're on Facebook. Yeah, that song is actually called Babylon. I've used it in a few of my videos before. So yeah, we're going to talk about Marduk. As a disclaimer, this is my theory on who or what Marduk is. So I told people, I'm writing a book. So a lot of this stuff, I'm specifically going into great detail about each of the Igigi gods. There are 10 of them. Marduk is one of them. Marduk created the Anunnaki. He's also the godfather of black magic because he also creates the demonic realm in which black magic operates. I put more of the pieces of the puzzles together on what they did. Now, I did a search. I'm always curious. What are other people saying about Marduk? A lot of the videos that I find, sadly, how do I say this in a nice way? So, like, basically, I got led here. First of all, they spelled Anunnaki wrong on this website, and here's what I mean here. Anunnaki in the Bible, they spelled Anunnaki wrong. It's A-N-U-N-N-A-K-I. Enki and Enlil, this is why I mentioned that earlier. Why does everyone always talk about Enki and Enlil like they are the only two Igigi gods? There are more of them, and Marduk is actually considered the head of that pantheon of gods, the Igigi. And he is the one that comes down and founds Babylon. And this is why. Because they get their information off stitching. And nobody's really contributed any new research to the Anunnaki Igigi god realm in modern times. We know this. I'm not going to go into him too much. The only thing I'm saying is I'm not mentioning him in my book because this is my book of what I think reptilians are. So I'm not regurgitating other people's research. But according to them, Marduk is an Anunnaki. And what does that tell me? It means they didn't even read basic Sumerian texts that are out there. Because we're going to watch this in a few minutes. This is the Babylonian myth of creation by Lord Marduk. This was on my LBRY channel. It's on my new YouTube channel, I think. There's still some videos that I need to possibly re-upload to this channel. So as I find them, like the Han Purple one, I didn't realize that wasn't on my channel. I had a sub ask me, Ken, where's the link to your Han Purple video? 5 minutes later, I uploaded it to YouTube. So if there's a video you're looking for, just ask me. I read the comments. Secondly, yeah, the comments already started coming out about Marduk. What do I mean? On my YouTube channel, in the comments. Even one of my subs go, what the heck are you talking about? Enlil is Marduk, who is Lucifer, who is Tiamat. Like, yeah, what? Okay. Anything that I'm telling you, I'm going to prove to you right now. Such as Marduk creating the Anunnaki. Yeah, he does. And he admits that he creates the Anunnaki. Enlil is Michael, a.k.a. Christ, who is Enki, who is Samuel, a.k.a. Satan. Yeah, what are you talking about, little islands? Marduk is a reptilian. You got that correct. Not only is he a reptilian, this is the representation of Marduk. It's a symbol of genetic engineering. He's the godfather of genetic engineering. Genetic engineering is still going on to this day in deep underground military installations. Chimeras in ancient times were real. I believe a lot of the animals that we hear about in mythology were actually created by people or reptilians like Marduk and unleashed upon Earth to help with kind of the cleanup. Except they ran into a little problem. I believe, and I'll show you that later on in the stream, that I may have found the origins of Sasquatch. He's not an alien. He was not created by the Anunnaki. No, he was on Earth when they got here. He was a leftover, one of the leftover hominoids left over from Atlantis. And they actually talk about him in the Epic of Gilgamesh. He is Humbaba the Terrible in the Cedar Forest. Now it's starting to make a lot more sense. It seems as though they made us with a mixture of, I'm guessing, Sasquatch DNA and reptilian DNA. Meaning, yeah. Now that gets into some strange things, but like I said, I'll prove that to you also. I'll show you the Epic of Gilgamesh. I got it pulled up. Gilgamesh. I know I always screw that word up. Yes, and Gilgamesh becomes Nimrod. And I read the Epic of Gilgamesh on my first Kinninigan channel. I lost it. It took me 3.5 hours. It was a 3.5 hour long video. That's how long it is. I really don't want to have to reread it, but there's some important clues in it about these theories I'm putting together, especially the one about Sasquatch. And I think we know which one of the gods is responsible for Sasquatch. It is Lord Hanuman in the Hindu pantheon, the monkey god. I'm going to do the Sasquatch stream maybe tomorrow night, okay? How does that sound? We'll get into more detail about... Now, listen, Sasquatch, there is a huge need for a breakthrough in that realm of research also. And just like I helped out Roger at Mud Fossil University with the ancient mythology of his Dragon of Morocco theory, these are the tablets that I used to help Roger prove his theory, that he wasn't crazy. It is the dragon myth of creation. They brought the dragons. Why? Because they come from the Alpha Draconian star system. Draco is Latin for dragon. A lot of people think that it was actually China who brought dragons into mythology. No, it was Babylon. It was Marduk. He's on there. So we'll watch that in a second. So, point being, before I even start this video, this is kind of like defending myself. Yeah, this is what I think Marduk and the Igigi and the Anunnaki are. I'm not sitting here trying to tear apart anyone else's research. I'm just going to show you what I think and why I think it, where I got the ideas from, like the source material. The tablets I actually read. I'm wondering if the person who put this website together actually ever read a Sumerian tablet or a Babylonian Grimoire. Because I have. A lot of them. And, so, now there is a certain researcher out there, yes, he does talk about the Igigi gods, but he says they're miners on Mars. It makes no sense. Listen, the Illuminati never came here for natural resources. Is that not obvious already? They don't care about natural resources. They are here to lush feed off humans. Gets into a bigger philosophical thing on the metaphor of what Atlantis was. Atlantis, and they're doing it to this day, or the people that follow these entities. And what do I mean by that? Like, they couldn't let Atlantis be a beacon of enlightenment throughout the cosmos. And these are a parasitic race, the Alpha Draconians. They are parasites. They are not apex predators. So they see that as a threat to their existence. And it starts to make a lot more sense. And things that they don't like, they will attack. There's even you know who's involved in the story of all things is Jesus Christ. Why do you think God sent Jesus here in the first place? Because when they created us, we also got something called a soul. And life wasn't too good on earth. And Jesus came here originally for a reason. In the human form that we are, obviously, he can manifest in any form. And he was ultimately crucified by the 72 Pharisees of Babylon. Yeah, and the reptilians. They didn't like him. So it was a symbol. They wanted to show what would happen to anyone who rose against them, the flogging and crucifixion. Rome hijacks Christianity. I know that you're preaching to the choir if you're going to lecture me on the Vatican. Just do a search on my channel about the reptilian symbolism at the Vatican. I've covered it. And also that Rome did hijack Christianity. We know that. It was Constantinople who actually did that also. So I'm getting all that covered in my book. Don't worry. So, but because I hear a lot of people saying that Marduk is Lucifer. He is not Lucifer. If anyone's going to be associated to Lucifer, it would be Anana or Ishtar, especially because there is a Sumerian tablet. It's also on my channel called Ishtar's Descent into the Underworld, where she overthrows Irish Kegel and sits on the throne as what we know as Lucifer. Her symbol is the planet Venus. This is also a villainization of women. They did not like the idea. Credo Mutwa even talked about this with the reptilians and women. They didn't like the idea of women because they can create life. This is why life on Earth, sadly, has been too good for women. Only up until recent times are women allowed to vote in this country, right? This has been going on a long time. Most women in ancient times obviously were slaves. But in order to have humans reproduce, they had to split the sexes. That's why we're not androgynous. The reptilians are androgynous, although they take on characteristics of male or female. It's metaphorical, but they are androgynous. That's why they see themselves as above us. Because they and this is why they're pushing that one certain agenda. Wink, wink. That's what they want for the New World Order. They don't like the ideas of humans and the emotion that humans have called love. Yeah. So, like, look at the way they're attacking free speech right now. This is the same thing. The Illuminati's been doing the same thing for years, just on different levels. They don't like anything that's positive for humans. This is why they keep our pineal glands calcified. This is why they hunt people down that have strong psychic abilities. This is why they shut down researchers they don't like me. So, this is why, and the other thing, going back to Sitchin, and then what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to play you the Babylonian myth of creation by Lord Marduk, because it explains him coming down and creating Babylon. And of all things, he built Göbekli Tepe. Now, I don't know if I re-uploaded that video to my channel. I gotta check. Reptilians built Göbekli Tepe. Because that's another ancient site that a lot of ancient alien researchers get baffled on. You know why they get baffled? Does anyone know what's on Göbekli Tepe? I've made the video is on my channel. You know what? I might re-upload it just so people see it. Because originally when I started the new channel, I was mass uploading videos from my old channel. So a lot of them got missed. Like, it doesn't have a whole lot of views. This is what is on Göbekli Tepe. This is one of the first sites that Marduk built. That's why I'm showing you this. It's one of the oldest sites. Well, it's not the oldest site. The oldest site attributed to the reptilians. Does anyone see what's here? Why this? Why? Because there are creatures on here that look exactly like the way I've been telling you that reptilians look like. They look like the Skeksis or vultures. And that's at Göbekli Tepe. This is probably what Marduk really looks like. This symbol of Marduk is a symbol of genetic engineering, this one. He's got these reptilian-like chicken feet. He's got a hoof on that feet, you see. And that's on the gates of Ishtar. So things start making a lot more sense. This is why they won't disclose the existence of Sasquatch. Sasquatch has been here since they started, and they've never been able to control them. Makes a lot of sense now. And what I believe Marduk does when he comes down, he creates the humans, and he also creates the 300 Anunnaki above and below, the demonic realm. The demonic realm is what rules black magic, period. You do black magic, you interact with demons. There's no way to sugarcoat it. Okay? Now, I'm not going to get into the semantics of what the difference is between a white witch and a black magician. Same thing. You got white hat hackers and you got black hat hackers. Then you have gray hat hackers who are kind of neutral in the middle. Yeah, there is a such thing as white witches. I have actually met a few in my life. And she explained to me what the difference was. It was like, for example, they do 9-foot magic circles, but they only make them for circles of protection. They don't add pentagrams to them. That's written about in the Emerald Tablets also. Once you add the angles to the circle is when you summon the hounds at the barrier. So if you were going to go into a very demonically possessed area, you can make a 9-foot circle around yourself. You could do it with salt. Salt works very good. And keep yourself safe. Yeah. So, yeah, that's and there are. I know. I never did a video about the difference between black magicians and white magicians. I think that'd be a good topic, wouldn't it? And if anyone's got some input on that, I'd love to hear it. Because if anyone needs demonic protection, it's me. Why do you think I know a few white witches over the years? It's not by coincidence. Yeah. Because I had them tell me, Kenny, you're being demonically attacked. And no one's going to believe you for it. They're all going to think you're crazy. Yeah. I read on. Let me pull the chat up so I can see everyone that's in here. So, like I said, while I'm reading the comments, I'm going to play the... And I'll show you where I got this from. This is actually it's a real Sumerian tablet. The Creation of the World by Marduk. And in this tablet, before I play it, I just want to show you one thing here. Just so I can, like I said, I'm going to show you everything I'm telling you. Now, who do you believe? Do you believe Stitchin? Or do you actually believe the entities that actually wrote these tablets? Because, he formed mankind. That's us. That's us. Yeah, that mankind. Where did he get the DNA for mankind? I think I know where he got it. And I believe the reason why they mixed that DNA with the reptilian DNA is they didn't want 6 billion Sasquatch running around planet Earth, because they would have never got Babylon started. Sasquatch, to this day, is still avoiding the humans. Here they go, right here. Line 15. The gods, the Anunnaki, he created one at a time. I don't know why anyone would even try to debate that. And he is an Igigi. And where my source for him being an Igigi god, I know I got it pulled up somewhere. Hold on. This is what happens when I pull too many links. Oh, here we go. Here's my source for the Igigi gods. How about the University of Pennsylvania? Yeah, it's an academic link, and it's a good link to use for a book, right? It's better than using Ancient Aliens as a link. But yeah, the Semitic term describes a group of possibly 7 or 8 gods. It's actually 10 of them. It is likely that the god Marduk was one of them. Marduk, right here, University of Pennsylvania. Marduk is an Igigi. But the total membership in this group is unclear and likely changed over time. The reason it's unclear is because they muddied the water on reptilian research on purpose. I do not think it's a coincidence that David Icke and Stitchin both come out, not just them, but I believe, I grew up in the 90s, so I was a victim of it, but I believe with the rise of the internet is when they really pumped up. There was even a name for this project. I forget the name of it now. I should have known. It was a project developed by the deep state to go into every research, everything from Sasquatch to Loch Ness Monster, reptilians, and muddy the waters on everything. This is why you only have like a handful of researchers. Researchers that weren't on the level, Phil Snyder comes to mind. You see what happens to them. So they pushed, and it makes a lot of sense. Now, the other gods that belong in this are Ishtar, Ashur-Luhai, Naramsit, Ninurta, Nuska, and Samas. Enki and Enlil also. Now, each of the Igigi also have an element attached to them. I believe that Marduk's element is fire. Enki's is water. Enlil's is air, and it would make sense that Marduk is fire because fire is passion and creationism in the occult. So each of the Igigi is also attributed to an element, just like in black magic. Now they're tablets. Don't worry, I'm going to get you. Don't have to worry. The tablet you're about to hear. The tablet you're going to hear. Oh, we got a new member. My first member. Who became a member? I just heard the ring. Someone became a channel member. Oh, I changed the price of the memberships. If you look at the join button, it's $9.99, $4.99, and 99 cents. I got 3 levels. I did lower it. If I'm going to make channel, I want to see how it goes with YouTube for a month or two. I just want to make sure they're not going to yank my channel memberships away again. Because if they don't, I will make some better perks on there. For channel members. I'll personally make better perks. Maybe I'll order some stuff from Teespring and personally mail you a t-shirt if you become a certain level member or something. I'll do something like that. My Patreons get merch perks. Also, my Patreons who didn't get their merch perks, I'll be able, April 1st is coming up. No, May 1st. I'm sorry. May 1st. So if they don't get if your merchandise doesn't get shipped out in the beginning, May coming up, I'll find out. Irma, if you're listening, one of my subs is due a t-shirt. I'm going to send a message to Patreon for you. You're way overdue for a t-shirt. I saw how many months you've been supporting me at that level. I'm like, yeah, you deserve a few t-shirts, maybe even a hoodie. But so, point being, this is where I get a lot of my source material. I actually go to academic sites, I read books, I read Sumerian tablets, and I start coming up. And that's actually what a researcher is supposed to do, right? Right? So, anyway. But I got some other mind-blowing things to show you here. Another mind-blowing thing, actually, about Marduk. So this is like 4 minutes long. We'll listen to this. Now, what I was going to tell you is the tablet you're reading, at the end, there's a black magic invocation. But don't worry, we're not going to summon any Shini voodoo demons because part of the tablet is missing, and that's on purpose. That's 1, so you can't do the incantation. 2, you can read a black magic ritual. It doesn't mean a demon is just going to manifest. There's other things involved, such as intent and making a said magic circle. If you're going to summon one of these entities, it's also going to require a blood sacrifice. So don't worry, we're not sacrificing chickens to Molech for Marduk. Say that 3 times fast, right? So listen to this. It scored the music too.
The wild cow and her young.
Oh wait, let me put this back. All right.
The Babylonian Myth of Creation by Lord Marduk. The holy house, the house of the gods, in the holy place had not yet been made. No reed had sprung up, no tree had been created. No brick had been laid, no building had been set up. No house had been erected, no city had been built. No city had been made, no creature had been created. Napor had not been made, Ekor had not been built. Erech has not been created. Ana had not been built. The deep had not been created. Eridu had not been built. Of the holy house, the house of the gods, the habitation had not been made. All lands were sea. At that time there was no movement in the sea. Then Eridu was made, and Esagil was built. Esagil, where in the midst of the deep the god Lugal du Azega dwelleth. The city of Babylon was built, and Esagil was finished. The gods, the Anunnaki, he created one at a time. The holy city, the dwelling of their heart's desire, they proclaimed supreme. Marduk laid a reed upon the face of the waters. He formed dust and poured it out beside the reed, that he might cause the gods to dwell in habitation of their heart's desire. He formed mankind. The goddess of Uru together with him created the seed of mankind. The beasts of the field and living creatures in the field he formed. He created the Tigris and the Euphrates, and he set them in their place. Their names he declared in goodly fashion. The grass, the rush of the marsh, the reed, and the forest he created. The green herb of the field he created. The lands, the marshes, and the swamps. The wild cow and her young. The wild calf, the ewe and her young. The lamb of the fold. Plantations and forests. Then he goat and the mountain goat him. The Lord Marduk lay in a dam by the side of the sea. He a swamp, he made a marsh. He brought into existence. Reeds he formed, trees he created. He made in their place. Bricks he laid, buildings he set up. Houses he made, cities he built. Cities he made, creatures he created. Napor he made, Ekor he built. Erech he made, Ana as he built. The decree, the exalted minister is Papsukal, the wise counselor of the gods. May Nin Aha Kedu, the daughter of Ea, purify thee with pure censer, and may she cleanse thee with cleansing fire. With a cup of pure water from the deep, thou shalt purify the way. By the incantation of Marduk, the king and hosts of heaven and earth, may the abundance of the land enter into thee, and may thee decree be accomplished forever. O Izida, thou glorious dwelling, thou art dear unto the hearts of Anu and Ishtar. May Izida shine like the heavens, may it be bright like the earth, may it be glorious like the heart of heaven, and may be firmly established.
So yeah, now when you hear that, Marduk sounds like a pretty important Igigi god, doesn't he? The king and host of heaven and earth. And what's amazing is I hear Enki being propped up a lot by certain groups of people, that's all I'm going to say. But there is 9 other Igigi in that group with him, and they never talk about him. Some of the other Igigi you probably never even heard of. I'm going to make them famous. Because, like some of the ones I've read off here. Ninurta, people have heard of Ninurta. I made a video about Ninurta, but like Ashur Luhai, Ishtar you've heard of, Shamash, that's Shamash, Shamash, sorry, Shamash, Shamash, yeah, they're written differently. So, now when you go here, what do they actually say about Marduk? Marduk rose from an obscure deity in the 3rd millennium BCE to become one of the most important gods and the head of the Mesopotamian pantheon in the 1st millennium. Wow. So why is everyone always like Enki? But I think people just like saying Enki. No, I'm not trying to pick on. I know why people. Because one certain researcher out there who supposedly deciphered these tablets, that's all he talked about. And what's amazing is planet Nibiru doesn't exist. I told you who Nibiru, Nibru, is a Mesopotamian city attributed to Enlil. There is no planet Nibiru. The planet they're showing in the old wall reliefs, because I'm redoing that video also, I am going to do a stream where I'm going to debunk planet Nibiru. How you like that? The planet that they show on one of the wall reliefs, I believe, is actually the planet Venus hitting the Earth. That's what caused the end of, that was the K2 event that ended the dinosaurs. That was the planet Venus. I'm going to do a whole stream on it. Don't worry. We even got scientific evidence for that too. Oh, that's going to be a great stream. Not only are we going to talk about how them hurling Venus at us, but yeah, space is real. I told people, if you follow my research, you know I'm not a flat earther, because if they came right, so I'm not even going to go there. Now, Marduk's animal symbol, this is it right here. It's the Mushhasu. The Mushhasu. It's hard to pronounce. It's written of in tablets, but that is the snake dragon creature that supposedly Marduk is. He's a Musahu. And we don't have any Mushhasu. It's genetic engineering. This is the stuff that they didn't want to tell you about. The Anunnaki or the Igigi. This is why they confused it all. Not only the fact that they're reptilian, but they created us. Oh, thanks for the super chat, Chili Angel. Been watching you for a long time. I love your laugh, and I think you're very intelligent about reptilians, and you're just all around great guy. Cool. Thank you. Yeah, and hopefully, you know, YouTube lets me keep my monetization. They took a lot of money away from me at one time. Yeah. But hopefully things are changing in the social media realm. I honestly, some of us are predicting that you're going to see, someone asked me in a comment today, they're like, how are you getting away with saying this in the video? You see what's going on Twitter today? Elon Musk is over there trolling, telling people he's going to buy Coca-Cola to put the cocaine back in it. He did a 4-year delta and referenced the QAnon drop from 2017 about Red Bull. Yeah, something is going on over there. I know. Who's Elon working for? I don't know. Let the theories fly, okay? Now we're going to listen to, on my LBRY account, I did this is where I'm going to re-upload some of these tablets here if they're not on my channel, but something interesting also. I was looking for, the Marduk video, right? This is a tablet here that I actually helped Roger. This is the Sumerian dragon myth of creation. This is the dragon of Morocco that Roger from Mud Fossil University. It became the Atlas Mountains. Now the Atlas Mountains, Atlas is a titan who holds the weight of the earth on his shoulder. Not only did Roger at Mud Fossil University find a huge dragon, that was the whole entire mountain range, he found a giant fish. And guess what? That fish is mentioned in this tablet. It's the raging creature of the river. So when I had that private phone call with Roger from Mud Fossil University, this is how I read him this tablet. I showed it to him. I shared my desktop. And he was like, wow. He's like, so this is actually written about. And then we discussed about what happens in He Who Writes History, right? Because he's dealing with some of the same issues with his research. The only reason Roger doesn't mention me that much because he does run Fossil University, and because of the reptilian thing, although Roger has given me some props on his channel, he'll mention me if you ask him about the Dragon of Morocco. He'll tell you, yeah, I talked to Kenny about that. So that's this tablet right here. People were asking me about this. Yeah. This is the
Sumerian.
Now, what I believe is some of these creatures were genetically engineered. Why would you need a huge flying dragon flying around? To do cleanup. Using it. The way the Alpha Draconians work, they are not apex predators, they're parasites. The only weapons they have are the weapons that they can... social engineering is one of the most powerful weapons the Illuminati uses. And they use it on you. Social engineering, you heard that. And they are capable of genetic engineering. So I believe that they want to clean up some of the remnants of ancient Babylon. I also believe, as crazy as it sounds, they were trying to get rid of Sasquatch, but they couldn't do it, and they still can't do it. That's why they won't admit the existence of some of the cryptoids. Makes sense with the mermaids also. I got a theory on the mermaids. I believe it ties in with all things cephalopods and Cthulhu. Octopi that can shapeshift. Yeah, things are going to get strange, but I might be able to prove all this stuff is real. Unicorns, mermaids, reptilians, it's all real. So, this is the dragon myth of creation. This one's shorter, it's only about 2 minutes, but it explains the event of the earth being hit.
Dragon myth of creation. The cities sighed. Men uttered lamentation. For their lamentations there was none to help. For their grief there was none to take them by the hand. Who was the dragon? Tiamat was the dragon. Bel in heaven hath formed. 50 caspu in his length, 1 caspu his height, 6 cubits in his mouth, 12 cubits in the circuit of his ears. For the space of 60 cubits he was a bird. In water 9 cubits deep he draggeth. He raises his tail on high, all the gods of heaven. In heaven the gods bowed themselves down before the moon god. The border of the moon god's robe they hastily grasp. Who will go and slay the dragon, and deliver the broad land from him, and become king? Go, Tissue, slay the dragon, and deliver the broad land from him, and become king over us. Thou hast sent me, O Lord, to the raging creatures of the river, but I know not of the dragon. He opened his mouth and spoke unto God. Stir up cloud and storm and tempest. The seal of thy life shalt thou set before thy face. Thou shalt grasp it, and thou shalt slay the dragon. He stirred up cloud and storm and tempest. He set the seal of life before his face. He grasped it, and he slew the dragon. For 3 years and 3 months, and 1 day and 1 night, the blood of the dragon flowed.
Okay, now, did anyone notice an important word in there? Wait, why did they have the word Lord on the Babylonian dragon myth of creation? Lord. Isn't that what we call Jesus?
The Babylonian...
Hold on, wait. Lord. Did he say Lord? Yeah, he did. I'll tell you why. Lord is an anagram. It's the loyal order of the royal dragon. Yeah, you've been lied to about that word also. This is why in royal times, like in Britain, when you were an aristocrat, in medieval times, you got a lordship. Anyone watch Game of Thrones, you know all about lords. All the high lords, yeah. Lord is an anagram for loyal order of the royal dragon. Hold on. Oh wait, I'm searching on the wrong LBRY channel. Because now I'm going to show you something else. I tell people that all the pagan pantheons are the same gods, just renamed. I think I'm going to prove that in a second. I made a video 3 years ago about this. It's mana. It's Zamna. I don't know if I have this re-uploaded to my channel, but see what now he is the Mayan reptilian god of creation. He is the creator god in the Mayan pantheon. Do you see what Itzama looks like? He looks like Marduk. And that's not by coincidence. It's Marduk. Same soup, different bowl. And this is what I tell people, all the gods are the same. That is Marduk in the Mayan pantheon. It's the same representation. It's just done, you know, obviously you can tell that's Mayan art. It's Marduk. And he is also the creator god. Interesting, huh? Now listen, Cynthia, yeah, Lord Jesus Christ, listen, I don't want you to stop using that word. The reason I don't mention it that much is because, yeah, it's a religious taboo. You know, God could be an anagram for Galactic Order of Draco. We don't know. But Lord, yes. I believe, now, why would it be mentioned in the dragon myth of creation? Hold on, back up. No, that's the Amana and Leash. Okay, it's on this website. This is the one. This is my secret. This is one of the best websites out there. If you are a researcher, here I'll give you the link. It's called Sacred Text. This website, well, you can find any book your little heart desires on this website. Everything I've gotten books from the Rosicrucians, the Masons, witches, black magic, Crowley. Everything is on here. It's basically, it's like the occult library of Alexandria online. It's called Sacred Text, and it's one of my go-to sites for source material. Well, anyway, we have what's called the 7 Tablets of Creation. I'm going to cover this in a separate video because it's a taboo subject too. The 7 Tablets of Creation, yes, it's the basis of the book of Genesis. Now, Zachariah Stitchin was right about that. Half truths and half lies. He did tell you that. It's based off the 7. Yeah, he was right about that. It says it right here. Primary source material for the book of Genesis. But what's interesting is how they come here. They are like a hive, like parasites. You have the dragon queen, Mamu Tiamat. It's Mamu who gives birth to the Igigi. Then it's Marduk who creates the humans and the Anunnaki. And Mamu is written at, she's in the 7 Tablets of Creation. I thought about reading these, but I might. They're not that long. I might just read these and then upload me reading them, and then, I don't know, maybe after that we'll talk about them. But if you read the 7 Tablets of Creation, a lot of it goes against what you were taught from ancient aliens, and it's right here in the tablets. I don't know why. And chaos. Chaos is a primordial god in the Greek pantheon, but the idea of chaos is there's a tablet called Enki in the World Order. And what Enki says is that if humans don't live under the structure that they set up for us, there will be chaos, and we're all going to... Now, does that sound familiar? Does that sound like a certain group of people in this country right now who think, oh, you can't have free speech at Twitter, there's going to be chaos? Same thing they've been doing. It's the same thing. According to Enki, if we don't follow their... and then... That's what the New World Order is, to bring back their idea of planet Earth, which is we're just a bunch of soulless vessels who are in service to them, so they could feed. But I don't know how the lust feeding works. I think they don't feed the same as they do off of something with a soul. And this is why I said we have souls. We know that. and our souls go somewhere when we die. And if you follow Enki's world order, you're pretty much going to hell. Democrats, their whole thing is breaking the 10 Commandments every day. You know that. Lying, cheating, stealing, false witness. So, God gave 10 Commandments, that's all, right? Just 10 rules. All the other laws that were written out of Samaria, like the Code of Hammurabi, are slave laws. The 300 laws of Hammurabi are 300 slave laws for humans. That's what they are. Because that's what we were seen as. So, okay, the book pictures. I know why I had that pulled up. There goes the head of Tiamat. I found this. Now, I was going to use it in my book, right? But you'll notice something. It's watermarked with a copyright. I don't think I can use this in my book. Because for all I know, Christophel Fine Art could... I don't know how copyright infringement works for photographs, but I really wanted to use that in my book. Because that is the head of Tiamat. That's the head of Marduk also. It's a dragon head. Yeah, it's a dragon's head. It's, no doubt about that. But that's a pretty cool artifact, isn't it? These are a lot of the artifacts I believe they hide. Obviously, they've stolen and hidden a lot of the artifacts from Babylon. Now, there is another myth of creation that's going to be a little taboo for some people. I've also read it. Might be on my LBRY. If it is, we'll listen to it. And that is, so yeah, it's Zema is Marduk in the Mayan pantheon. That's where's my LBRY? It's the creation of the sun and the moon. Now, a lot of people think that the moon is an artificial structure. It is. And they admit to putting it in place. Oh, I lost that. Did I lose it? Uh-oh. See, this is what happens when I delete my channels. It's not a real long text. I can read it to you. But, no. Oh, we got Macy on there. Alright. It's this one right here. The creation of the sun and moon. It's short. It's only 14 lines, but it's interesting. When the gods Anna, Enlil, and Enki, through their sure counsel and by their great commands, ordained the renewal of the moon god, the reappearance of the moon, and the creation of the month. Now, Marduk also creates the zodiac. Why? Because they changed the zodiacal alignment of planet Earth when they smacked Venus into it. So they had to redivide up the zodiac, and Marduk creates that. That's in the 7 tablets of creation. The reappearance of the moon and the creation of the month, and ordained the oracle of heaven and earth. The new moon did Anna cause to appear. The new moon? Where's the old moon? Right? In the midst of heaven, he beheld it forth. Some of the parts of the tablet are missing. That's why the brackets are there. When Anu, Bel, and Ea, the great gods, through their sure counsel, fixed the bounds of heaven and earth, and to the hands of the great gods entrusted the creation of the day and the renewal of the month, which they might behold, and mankind, got to read around my camera, beheld the sun god in the gate of his going forth. In the midst of heaven and earth, they duly created him. Now, does anyone else know what the moon does? Or what would happen if the moon moved? There'd be chaos on earth. Yes, everything would flood. Our tides are controlled by the moon. There's, for females, monthly thing, that's controlled by the moon. Yes, that is, so it goes into a lot of things. The moon also goes in, obviously, with fertility, talking about women. We know that if the moon was ever to be moved, it would cause massive flooding on planet Earth. Like, that's not good. You think God did that? I mean, no, and then it's always been theorized the moon was an artificial structure put in the place. And I think this tablet confirms that also. Like, where's the old moon? Who put the new moon in place? Like, what's going on here? And it's starting to make, I don't know, maybe the way to move through the galaxy is not with spaceships like in sci-fi movies. Maybe it's with like planets. I don't know. I'm just So the Death Star is real. Star Wars mocked that. Yeah, they were mocking the moon in that movie. I hope you realize that, the Death Star. So yeah, sacred text. Damn good website. They got everything on here. And it's free. All the books are free. Just about any occult subject, alchemy, black magic, it's all here. It's an excellent site. So what else did I pull up? One more thing I want to talk about. This here. Let me light a little bit of cigarette I have up. What they tried to do when they created Babylon. This is funny. This is a Sumerian ziggurat. And what I believe happened when they took over planet Earth, destroyed Atlantis, the pyramids of Giza were built by the Atlanteans. Thoth even says he built them in the Emerald Tablets. Nobody has ever been able to recreate the Great Pyramids of Giza. Oh, they tried. And I believe the best thing that they were able to do is the ziggurat, which is not a pyramid. They tried, but they couldn't do it. So they built ziggurats. They were trying to duplicate the pyramids of Giza as a symbol of power for taking over the planet. But they couldn't do it correctly. So they hijacked it. And that's why we get the Eye of the Illuminati over the pyramid on our $1 bill. And if you look at other temples in the world, there goes the Aztecs, Quetzalcoatl, the plume serpent. They look like they're basically like based off the ziggurat design. They're step pyramids. They can't do the angles, like the real pyramid angles, and duplicate it. No one has been able to. It doesn't sound like it would be that hard, right? Cut a triangle, blocks, make them go into a pyramid. Well, apparently no one can do it. So a lot of these temples, they were attempting to duplicate the pyramids, but they can't do it. And they used their temples for ritualistic sacrifice. Watch the movie Apocalypto from Mel Gibson. That's an excellent movie. Shows you the blood sacrifices going on there. And we see this with a lot of other temple complexes in ancient times. They were unable to duplicate the pyramids. So that's why you have ziggurats in ancient Sumeria. This is the best they could do. And then they hijacked them. Everything that you know about Egypt is... I got to do some more videos about Egypt, because a lot of people think of Egypt, they think of the pyramids. No, Egypt is really dynastic Egypt in the Valley of Kings, and a lot of those structures were actually built by the Greek. You know that the Greeks built half of ancient Egypt, right? They merged with Egypt. I made a video about it at one time. That was the metaphor, this love story of Cleopatra and Mark Antony. In fact, I did. I'm going to go through my videos tonight and see what I didn't re-upload to this channel and what I did, because there are some really good lectures, and it's going to give me some ideas for more videos. So, that's my theory on Marduk, on what Marduk is. He is the creator of Igigi who comes down, he founds Babylon, black magic. Now, each one of these topics I'm talking about, yes, I'm definitely doing some more videos. And I mean, I'm talking about in the immediate near future. I'm talking about Marduk tonight, so I can possibly wake up tomorrow morning, make some coffee, and work on that chapter of my book. Okay? Wink, wink. Makes sense now? Tomorrow night, I'm going to do the Sasquatch stream. How about a Bigfoot live stream tomorrow night? One that'll probably blow your mind also, because it involves, of all things... Did I pull that up? I don't know. Oh, yeah, I did. The Epic of Gilgamesh. And I want this line right here. he goes in the cedar forest and he has to kill a hairy creature called Humbaba the Terrible. Humbaba the Terrible, I believe, is Sasquatch. You'll notice something else about the word Humbaba. The first 3 letters are H-U-M. How do you spell human? His job was to kill Humbaba in the cedar forest, and he apparently was unable to do it because Sasquatch is still on the earth. And the Illuminati cannot control them. They... and we know they exist, it's a fact. In fact, when I do the stream tomorrow night, I'm going to show you a temple built by Yeti to worship themselves. To worship Hanuman, the monkey god. I told you, Praveen Mohar is becoming one of my favorite YouTubers. There's a reason why. Why do you think I told you I was going to super thanks him? Because I've been watching a lot of his videos and he's filling in a lot of the missing pieces of the puzzle with what I couldn't understand in Hinduism, because it's complicated. And even he says that in his videos. It's like, yeah, so, and he did a pretty interesting video about the Yeti, and it made a lot of sense. So tomorrow night, we're going to talk about Sasquatch, but not just sightings in, like, the Rocky Mountains. No, we're going to talk about which of the gods possibly created him. Hanuman, the Vanir, who are in the story of Rama's Bridge, and that story happens 1.5 million years ago. The Rama's Bridge video is on my channel. So that would mean Sasquatch is at least 1.5 million years old. They say that he has all these incredible powers. It would make a lot of sense now. And I believe, yes, he was Humbaba the Terrible in the Epic of Gilgamesh in the Cedar Forest. And that's why they wrote bad about him. And it's been going on since then. The Illuminati don't like you. They'll vilify you. What do you think the metaphor also was with Jesus Christ, sadly? Look what they do in modern times. It's not the reptilians directly doing it, but their little minion puppet, demon-possessed occultists that follow them act exactly like they do. We don't like you, we're going to crucify you. Well, yeah, whatever. Same thing. Now, at least you can start to understand why they think like this, because they're no better than the parasites that roll over them, and they think the same way. So I believe that was one of the first. They tried to vilify Sasquatch. They called him Humbaba the Terrible in the cedar forest. And where is the cedar forest? Where's the giant cedar redwood trees? They're on the west coast of the United States, where the largest Sasquatch population is, aren't they? Yeah, so we'll talk about that tomorrow night. How does that sound? I know Colorado Bigfoot. I've seen his channel. Yeah. So anyway, let me make sure. So that was my discussion on Marduk here. Let me go over Monet D Live. I sent an alert out on Telegram. It was a video. Told you I was going to be here. DH. And Twitch. Oh, we got a chat at Twitch. Hello. Have you seen Colorado? Okay, that comment came on Twitch. I see you right here. I'm on Twitch. Yeah, I'm subbed to Colorado Bigfoot. I know his YouTube channel. He shows a lot, and he talks about the little people. We got a video to make about little people. Oh, there's some more stuff to talk about with them, too. And, of course, Facebook. Yeah, we're on the Facebooks. Yes, thanks to my new channel member. Hold on 1 second. Oh, it's going to take a day to update it. Well, see, what I used to do, and what I will start to do, is when I had channel memberships before, I called it the Lizard Club, but people asked me to change the name. So, alright, whatever. But what I would do is, on the streams, I would read your names out on the streams, and I would give shout outs to all my channel members on the live streams, and I will continue to do that. I'm just not going to do it today because we only have one member show up. And I've already thanked her. Hold on, let me go back. Chili Angel. Welcome to the Lion's Pride. So yeah, I'll start to do that also. Hopefully they let me keep my monetization this time. Yeah, Chewbacca. Good point. Yeah, you notice the double C's in Chewbacca? That's 33. Chewbacca. Wait, Chewbacca. Does that sound a lot like Humbaba? Kind of the same linguistics. Humbaba, Chewbacca. I see what you did there, George Lucas. I see what you did there. Wait, are you gonna look? If my Sasquatch theory winds up being true too, I gotta listen. I'm deserved some well recognition in the future, right? All this hard work I've been doing, all these mysteries I'm cracking, it's gonna pay off. Hopefully, right? That's what I'm hoping. One day it will, because Sasquatch is definitely, they need some new research in that area, and I think that I'm making a connection there with Humbaba the Terrible. I think that's Sasquatch, and it makes a lot of sense now. That's, yeah, pretty fascinating, right? So anyway, that's all for the stream from Marduk. I'm going to be doing other streams on other Igigi. I recently did one about Enki and Enlil. That's on my channel if you look it up. I did one about Enki and Enlil. I've covered Ishtar multiple times, but I'm probably going to wind up doing another stream just on Ishtar and Ninurta and the other Igigi that are in that pantheon. I will be doing streams about them. I wanted to put Marduk in his own video because for some reason, I don't know what it is, Marduk doesn't get the recognition he needs. Marduk is like he's like the Kinninigan of the Igigi pantheon. It's like, all right, just give him a shout out. I mean, he only built Babylon, I mean, and created humans and the Anunnaki. So, Moon is plasma. Cedars in Lebanon, too. Hey, Sasquatch are all around the planet. That species, whatever they are all around the planet. We know that. That's a fact. The only place I don't know if Sasquatch is ever reported. Are they ever reported in England? I'm not joking about that. I don't really know if there's any Sasquatch sightings in England. I don't know. And maybe it makes sense because it's an island. Maybe they would have survived on the bigger land masses afterwards. Which makes sense because the west coast of the United States is part of the quote-unquote old world. That's why California, Oregon, Washington look the way they do. This is why they have the Bohemian Grove there. They wanted to be in that the redwood forest for a reason. That's part of the old world. And that's where we get a lot of reported sightings of Sasquatch. So, crazy as it may sound, this is going to be cool. No, I'm actually excited about the Sasquatch stream now, tomorrow night. So when I get excited about a subject, that's a good thing, okay? It means it'll be a fun stream. Then on Saturday night, yeah, we're going to be streaming on Saturday night again too, right? But Saturday I got a different plan. What we're going to do, anyone buys me some beer on Saturday night, we're going to do something fun, which is we're going to go through these decks that came from my sub who mailed these to me. The Illuminati Y2K, we're going to go through these on a stream. Probably Saturday night. How does that sound? Grab a beer. Yeah, Saturday night would be a great night for that. We're going to go through all these cards. And I've shown them. A sub sent these to me. But there's some interesting things popping out to me when I went through them again. If I can find that one card, I'll show you. Oh, this is something else we got to figure out too. This is real. You know what? They might be the Atlanteans. Who are the Druids, and why are they vilified in ancient history? If they were occultists, I don't know. I don't think they were practicing black magic. which is why Rome burnt down the Druid forest when Caesar first invaded Britannia. Then, mysteriously, a whole Roman legion sunk in the ocean because a strange tempest came and sunk Julius Caesar's Roman ships. Then the Druids were vilified by the Romans. They were eventually hunted down and killed. And they had the Druids Grove in England. We don't really know who the Druids were. They were propagandized for a reason. I believe they came from the Hyperboreal, if you know about Irish legends of the island. Yeah, something's going on with Druids. I think they could be Atlanteans. Practicing something the Illuminati doesn't like. Here's another interesting card. Yeah. Shangri-La. And yeah, because I'm going to be making a video on Shangri-La. Yeah, so we'll go through these like on a stream. How's that sound? I've been putting it. So yeah, I got the next few streams planned out. Tomorrow night we'll talk about Sasquatch, Bigfoot, my theory on his origins, which you just basically heard. And Saturday night maybe we'll stream and go through these cards. That'll be fun. Who knows what's going to happen in between now and Saturday, right? If Elon Musk doesn't break the internet before that, yeah, I literally think he's about to break the internet. Liberals are like, their heads are exploding. He's trolling them with QAnon posts now. I mean, come on, man. Anyway, so that's going to be all for the stream. Thanks for everyone who showed up. If anyone's able to help out with donations, all the links are in the description. Yeah, we have channel memberships, merchandise also. I'll be streaming around the same time tomorrow night, about 8 o'clock, okay? About Sasquatch. I'll let you guys know. Thanks to everyone over at DLive and Twitch, also Facebook. Oh, thanks for the ice creams. I got ice cream. Joe Biden. You're going to make Joe Biden jealous with all them ice creams you're giving me. Do you know what ice cream is symbol for in Pizzagate? Male prostitute. Oh, you didn't hear that from me. That's why I think they always had Biden licking the ice cream cone. It makes sense now. It meant male prostitute. And what is he acting like? A male? Yeah. Makes sense, doesn't it? The ice cream wasn't a symbol for the... It was a symbol of what Biden is. He's the... Yeah. Makes sense now. That's the Pizzagate lingo. That was that stream I had cut off in 29 minutes over at Rumble. I won't stream at Rumble anymore because they cut my Pizzagate stream. As soon as I showed Jimmy Comet rolling around on the floor with blood on in high heels, yeah, my stream got cut. What's up with that, Rumble? Why are you protecting Jimmy Comet? So, no, you can't say whatever you want to talk about over at Rumble. Which is why I'm not happy they're merging with Truth Social, supposedly. Because we're never going to get a platform that will allow Pizzagate to be exposed. Now, will we? That's where the real story is. Yeah. Everyone's, John Durham, he's going to get her on Russian collusion hoax, but the real crimes are when wait till that gets exposed. So anyway, any questions or comments, leave them below. God bless and take care.